morning, everyone. It is a thankful Thursday here at Eve Speaks Podcast. Listen, I'm thankful to be alive this morning, thankful for my voice and yet another day. But I'm especially thankful for our return guest, Miss Tanya Barnes. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me again.
You guys seen her here on Eve Speaks as she shared with us regarding Beulah Safe Haven as well as their gospel explosion. That was a success as well.
It was.
And we just thank you for the call. You guys, Miss Tanya gave me a call and she had some exciting news to share. You know, we have Testimony Tuesdays and Thanksgiving Thursdays. However, this Thursday, we're going to combine them both and we're bringing you guys an exciting testimony from Miss Tanya. I'm just grateful for her life, grateful for her being here. So hold on to your seats before we get into it. Share this with someone. Share this with someone because they're going to be blessed by it. They are going to be inspired by it. And I want you guys to get it this time. I know you can go back and look at the replays and Facebook will hold it for 30 days. But I want you guys to hold on to your seat and just listen to what God has done in her life. She called me up and she said, I have a testimony and it's a miracle. And I want to share with the people of God over this platform, which we are so honored to have you. She wants to share with the people of God what God has done in her life. Miss Tanya, look at you. You can't stop smiling. I know it. That's how you work.
I am so excited.
Everything tried us this morning. We knew it wasn't going to be easy. Right?
We knew. I told you I didn't sleep last night. I went to bed around 11 something and said I was going to sleep so I could be ready for today. And when I woke up, it said 1:50.
You woke up at 1:50 in the morning.
I said, Lord, my mind's so tired.
We joked about it coming in that God wanted you so exhausted for yourself that he could do the speaking for you. So for somebody today who's been exhausted in their body, but they're trying to keep going, they have a commitment to fulfill. I want you to press on anyway. Now use wisdom because we do need our rest. But I want you to press into the spirit because God has a work to do. He told Moses, when the time comes, I'll give you the words to say. I'll speak for you. So you don't worry about your stutter. You don't worry about your lip. You don't worry about your appearance because guess what? God's working even in that situation. The last time you were here again to share with us about Beulah Safe Haven and your gospel explosion, yes. You came in here on a walker.
I was here on a walker. And I didn't know I had been on the walker for about 5 years. And I wasn't on the walker because I could not walk. Mm-hmm. It was because I had so much pain. So when in 2020, I had a stroke. And I don't know, something with the stroke, the nerve, or I'm not sure what it was. Mm-hmm. But from that time, I was in pain. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking about excruciating pain. And it initially started out with pain, just regardless of whether I was standing, whether I was laying, just pain.
Yeah.
And then it went from that to just pain when I walked. Uh-huh. So I was thankful, because to be in pain, even if you laying down, it's just horrible. But then it got to where I was just in pain when I walked. But the thing was that every day for 5 years, every day, I was with pain.
Can you just pause right there? Because somebody is moving and they're operating and on the verge of giving in, on the verge of giving up because they've been pressing through the pain. And I think that it's so important to have our moments where we pause and give acknowledgement because you didn't stop in the pain. You kept going. You kept moving. Some things have expanded with Beulah Safe Haven in the midst of your pain. God has grown you guys in the midst of your pain. He was still moving because of your obedience to keep going in the midst of your pain. Can we just offer God a praise even in the pain?
Yes, ma'am. But it wasn't easy. I'm going to tell everybody, being honest, it wasn't easy. Mm-hmm. You know, to steady move and steady get up and go. And for me, because I had nursed for 20-some years.
Come on, nursing.
And had been taking care of other people. Yeah. It was hard for me to have to adjust to having somebody help me.
Yeah.
You know, trying to be dependent on somebody else, and then having that feeling of
dependency,
Ooh. And a feeling of
come on, you helping somebody today
to somebody else, you know, and that in itself was hard, but I kept pushing because I knew that I was doing what God had me to do. I knew what my purpose was.
That's it.
And because I had God had healed me from cancer. He had healed me from...
Slow it down for him. Don't take them too fast.
Okay, so 2018, I had cancer. I had thyroid cancer. And they were able to get it all. Like, I had a mass that went all the way up into my collarbone. And it deviated...
Come on, deviated. She's using her medical terminology because we want you guys to elevate with us on today. Come on, she's still a nurse.
I had a hard time breathing, but they were able to get it out, and it was the fact that I didn't have to have chemo. I didn't have to have radiation. I just ended up on thyroid medicine. So I bounced back, went to nursing. Hey, I'm good. God got me. You know, God's healing. Then the back messed up. I had to have a back surgery. I didn't have to have the laparoscopic. No, I had a major back surgery where they had to add 2 rods and 3 screws on each side.
Y'all get in here. Y'all need to hear this.
Now, I've been diabetic. So, you know, with that, they were saying the healing process for God.
Yeah, they tell all diabetics that the healing process takes a little longer. It may not heal completely. You may have to go back and forth. But you say, but God.
But God. And he healed me. I was up, moving, back nursing again.
So what you're trying to tell me is with God, you've been defying the odds of what medicine said. And I need somebody to know in their current situation, their current diagnosis, their current prognosis of what the doctors have told you that God has the final say. And Miss Tanya Barnes is a testament of it today. She's going somewhere, and if you lend her your ear, you're going to hear the story of how God brought her on this side. She said it wasn't easy. It's been tough at times. It's been rough at times. But she says, but God.
But God. But God. So then here we are at 2020. So 2020 is when I had the stroke. And it had been a beautiful day. We had been to church, me, my children, my foster children. We just all went to church, and then we went out to eat at Applebee's. Never forget. Then we went to see The Invisible Man. I had a little extra money that day. Okay,
she said we can squeeze in a movie.
We going to the movies.
So you mean tell me you could be going to church, you could be doing what is right, you could be serving God, you could be serving others, and you're still going to face
obstacles.
Come on, help us.
Obstacles. And made it all the way through the movie. Everybody went out to get in the vehicles, and I went to the bathroom. And when I was in the bathroom, I got short of breath. So because I have a history of asthma, I thought it was asthma. And when I was walking to the truck, I just thought I needed my asthma pump.
Right.
But I don't know. It was something about the way I was looking, caused my daughter to ask me, was I okay? And I didn't respond because in my mind, I was trying to decide whether I was okay or not.
Yeah.
So we made it home, and the kids jumped out the truck and went in the house. And my daughter asked me again, "Mom, are you okay? Do you need to go to the hospital?" When I got ready to speak, my speech was slurred.
Wow.
So because I had been nursing, I knew that it was a stroke.
You knew the signs.
Right. But I also knew that they said if you get there within a 6-hour period, it'll keep you from having any lasting effects.
Okay.
So I knew I had weakness on the left side of my body, and got there in time. Knew I had time because I just caught this. But what I didn't remember from nursing school was that your blood pressure can't be high for them to give you this medicine.
That's right.
So of course, when I got there, my blood pressure was out the roof. So they had to put me on some blood pressure medicine to lower my blood pressure by IV. And it didn't happen in time. And what they told my daughter was that if they gave me the medicine, they was afraid that I was would die. I wasn't gonna make it.
Yeah.
And so we chose not to do it. Whatever paralysis I would have,
you would deal with it from there.
Right. I would still be alive. And so my family they were afraid. I went to the ICU. I was being strong. I didn't let them know that I was afraid because I was like the head. Everybody looked up to me. Everybody
the glue.
Yeah. So you have to be strong. You can't show your fear. And in that, I was left with the pain, but I didn't have any of the paralysis from it. I didn't have the weakness was gone. All of that. When I was in the ICU, I was walking and I was asking God, why am I here? Because it was people there that was on vents. It was people there, and I'm wondering, because this is the time when COVID, COVID was big in 2020. So I'm wondering, God, why am I here? So I was walking and seeing these people, and I was praying for them because I had a little weakness, but I was up and moving, and these people were on vents, life support.
Yeah.
And so I ended up from the ICU to the step down to home, and then the pain started.
So no rehab at facility or going for it?
Nope. Went home. I was good. I was good. And then I was in so much pain. And I got to tell you this little quick story. At the time, the CB oil was coming out. That was coming out. And I was in so much pain till I decided I was going to try some because I heard this pastor say it worked. It rubbed on them and it worked. So I said, okay, I'm going to go get me some because they said that worked.
Yeah.
I went and got me some, paid $80-something for it. Did not work. And so one day I was in pain and my sister had gotten some CBD oil through the mail. She didn't order it. She said, I'm sending this back. This cost $90-something. I'm sending this back.
I don't want no parts of that.
Right. And one day I was in so much pain. I told her to bring it.
Yeah.
I told my daughters, I said, look, if anything happened to me, we don't know where this came from, but this is what happened. This is it.
Yeah.
But when you're in so much pain,
you're willing to try just about anything.
And I tried. And the pain eased. It was nasty. But baby, I took that twice a day for 30 days. And when I got to the 30 days at the end, I was going to order me some more. I could not find it.
Oh, wow.
So I told my daughter, they thought it was me. I told my youngest, because she's really good on the computers, she could not find it. Then I told my oldest daughter, she could not find it.
So you were able to get temporary relief.
Baby, God sent that to me. Do you not know we could not find that anywhere?
And your sister didn't order it, but it showed up in her mailbox. And he gave you access to what you needed to relieve the pain that you were enduring at the time. You guys, I don't know if you all are hearing this, but it's kind of reminding me of a story in the Bible where a lady suffered for 12 long years, and she was in her desperation, and she had used everything she had looking for relief.
And man, the pain was real. The pain was real. So after that, that's when it started being the pain just when I walked.
Yeah.
From the all-day pain to just the pain when I walk. But you imagine getting up every day, and before you step, you already know you're going to be in pain.
You're preparing your mind like, I know it's coming, but I got to go.
And when it rained,
even worse.
Baby, that was debilitating. There would be days that I could not get up out the bed because I would be in so much pain. And so to continue to do what I had to do, I walked on a walker, and I walked with a cane sometimes if it was real short distance. But being honest, that was an embarrassment for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I've always been the kind of shy. You wouldn't know that for all the media stuff I do now. But I've always been kind of shy and like be the person in the background. Yeah. So because I suffer from low self-esteem because of the weight. So I didn't want people looking at me. So, that automatically is a distraction. When somebody come in walking on a walker, people automatically are going to look. So then that brought the attention of which I didn't want. So you'll notice on mostly everything, since everything that has to do with Beauty Safe Haven, when I do pictures, it's with some other people because they're helping hold me up. They helping hold me up so that I wait till it's time to take the picture. Then I'm able to stand enough with them helping me to take the picture. So you don't see a lot of canes and walkers. And when I went and looked back, I had less than 10. But I went to a prayer retreat this year, and in March, and I took. I've been going to it for 8 years, and I've never taken a picture with a walker, but I did this year because God had put it on my heart to let other people know that they could come to the prayer retreat because it was handicap accessible. So I proudly took a picture, not knowing that was going to be the last picture. The last picture I was going to have to take with the walker. So here we come to, so saying that in 2020, so for 5 years straight, let me say this, for 5 years straight, I had a surgery. Starting with 2018, 2019, after the stroke, I had a heart issue. Then I had surgery here where the enemy tried to close my throat. I ended up in the hospital. When I looked up, they 3 o'clock in the morning doing emergency surgery because they didn't think that I was gonna make it, that my throat was closing up. And if they didn't do the surgery, then I wasn't gonna make it. So they did emergency surgery 3-something in the morning. Like, when I tell you all that God has brought me through,
come on,
you know, but it still doesn't stop from the human part. You know, it hurt. You know, God's gonna bring you through. And then I was still having this pain, and I knew that God was a healer. Because He healed me so many other times. But I didn't know if He would take this pain away. But let me say this, on this side of earth. I knew He was going to heal me from it.
You just didn't know it would
on
happen.
This side of earth.
So, how did you cope in the time of going through, like, with the emotions, with the thoughts, because it's so much that consumes us, like you said, the human side. How did you cope with the human side of what you were feeling? How did you die to your flesh? How did you combat those feelings, emotions, and thoughts?
I'm still dying to my flesh.
Y'all, she said, I'm still dying to my flesh. This is a continual process. It is a daily process. It is something that you have to work on, you know, before your feet hit the ground. Pastor Mike Jr. says a dog doesn't chase a car that's sitting still. He runs after a car in motion. When God has plans for your life, when He's going to take you somewhere, when He's moving through you on behalf of others, when He's moving around you because of you, for you, through you, for others, the enemy wants you. He's going to chase you down. So there is, like she said, that human side. And she said she's dying to her flesh daily because it's a constant battle coming for you.
It is.
He's coming for you.
All the time, the thoughts in your mind that you're a burden, your thoughts in your mind that you're alone, you know, that God heals, but is He going to heal you this time? You know, you have all those thoughts, and I had that. I had depression. I still struggle because know that God took the pain away, but I'm having to learn how to walk all over.
Come on.
You know.
Say it again.
And that's a
Say
struggle.
it again. She's
The
saying
struggle
He
is
took the pain
real.
away, but I'm learning to walk all over again. Thank you for not giving up in the times where your mind said He did it that time, but He may not do it this time. Thank you for holding on to your faith, even if it was the grain of a mustard seed. When the loud voices were there, you held on to who you know and what He was capable of doing, and you're here today that you're relearning to walk.
I am, but let me tell you what got me to this point. I went to a prayer summit in Monroe. I went to this prayer summit because I had heard at the hub, the Remnant Hub is what it's called. I went there, and when I went to it, I met a lady that had died. Like, she has proof where her brain was dead for 11 minutes and 17 seconds. You know what I'm talking about? And she tells the story of what happened during that time. And that's the first time I've ever met. You know, you hear people tell stories and you wonder if they're telling the truth, but to meet a live person. And then there was another lady that was like, look, I was where you were, you know, and God healed me. And she was up and praising, and I'm like, oh, wow. So when I went this day, which was July the 18th, never forget.
2025?
2025. July the 18th, I went, and there was a prophetess, Calhoun. She was there and she was preaching. And I was thinking, I was believing, because they had other people that had testimony where they had cancer and they went back and the cancer was gone. So, you know, you have all these believers there, like. And so she was preaching and I was sitting there and I was thinking, one time I stood up and I sat back down. I said, one for the Father. I stood up again, one for the Son. I stood up again, one for the Holy Spirit. And she was steady preaching, but she never came towards me. She was walking back there, but she never came towards me. And so then I remember the Joel Osteen mom said that when she got healed, she had given this to God and she started praying for other people. She took her eyes off herself.
Yeah.
So I took my eyes off of myself and I started praying, because I know I wasn't the only one that was there that was needing prayer. So I started praying for other people. And then all of a sudden I looked up, she came to me and she said, God saved the best for last.
Woo. I'm going to let this sit right there. God saved the best for last. She was sitting in the service. I don't know if they're hearing what I'm hearing. You held on to your faith. God healed you time and time again, starting in 2018, where you first had your, when you had your initial battle with cancer. God healed you, and it matriculated, and you went through surgery after surgery each year for 5 years. From that point, you experienced COVID, but even during COVID, being in the ICU, you started praying for the ventilated patients. So your eyes was on God the entire time, because only God can cause you to pray for others in the midst of your going through. So you kept your eyes on God the entire time. Then you surrounded yourself by believers. You put yourself in an atmosphere conducive for healing. You put yourself in an atmosphere where God was. Somebody is in the midst of something on today. Hold on to this right here. Stay focused on God. Get in the midst of believers. Hold on to your faith. Believe that He can do it. Pray for others. Pray for others and believe God for others. Take your focus off your circumstances and put them on Him. And He will save the best for last.
Baby, when she told me to stand. And I stood. And I was holding on to the wall because she asked me to give her my hand, and I did. And she told everybody she only wanted believers around me. If they did not believe, she wanted them to step back. And then she asked me why I was on the walker, and I told her. And so she asked me where the pain was. I told her. And then she started rubbing. Some other people was rubbing from my back to my leg, because the pain went from my back and went all the way down both my legs to my knees. And they started rubbing. So then she said, is the pain gone? I said, it's better, because I could tell it was better. Yes. She said, no, we don't want it better. We want it gone. And so they kept praying. And then she told me to step. And I had my eyes closed because I was praying. And she told me to open my eyes and look at her. And I did. And then she told me to step. And I stepped. And I stepped. And I stepped. And I was just focusing on her. You know, and I was believing, because do you know what it's like when you have all these people that's believing with you? Yeah. Like, and you can see that they really believe it, and they have the faith. You know, it increases your faith.
Yes.
You know, and that's what it did. It increased my faith, because I saw people that got it healed, and these people were wanting it for me as bad as I was wanting it for myself, you know. And I walked, and I made it all the way to the front. And when I got to the front, she said, turn around and look where you are now. And I did. And then someone was behind me with the chair. My daughter told me they was behind me with the chair the whole time, but I didn't know it. And I sat down, And I sat there and I was so excited. Everybody was so excited and happy for me. And I asked him, could I walk back? And I got up and I walked back. And so later I had to go to the bathroom. And I told my daughter, I said, I got to go to the bathroom. She said, okay, let's go. So I'm thinking she going to give me her hand to walk to the bathroom. No, ma'am, she did not.
Because her faith had seen what God has already done.
No, ma'am.
So no hand holding.
No, ma'am, she did not. And I walked to the bathroom.
Come on.
By myself. And I walked back. And I didn't have any pain.
Look where he brought you from.
I had no pain. And I haven't had pain since. Now, do I feel the pressure of the weight? Yes. Because my body is not, my legs aren't used to holding the weight all by itself. It's just not. I told my daughter, she laughed at me. I said, baby, you know what I realized? She said, what? I said, I realized I'm fat, girl. I didn't realize I realized that time I had all this weight on my legs, and she just laughed. But, you know, I thank God that I feel the pressure. So now I'm working on learning to use those muscles because, you know, they're tight. Yeah. But I'm doing it. You're doing it. You know, I'm doing it. And don't think I don't have to psych myself out some more. Like, okay, come on, you can do this. Yeah. And get up and walk, but to not have pain. And I promise God, and this is why I called you, because I promised God, I would tell everybody. I would tell everybody, because I know what it feels like when your faith gets weary. Yeah. Like when you're starting to lose that hope. You know, because you know that God can, but will he do it for you? You know, will it be on this side or will it be on the other side? You know, because you know people in the Bible like that weren't healed, you know, or partial, you know, but God don't do nothing partial. He do everything in time. And I wondered, I said, okay, God, so I wondered why. And I still don't know why, but I do know that because of Beautiful Safe Haven, I have a platform where people know and people saw me. Like from the news, Channel 3, Channel 12, you know, going to all the different churches, you know, being on the different podcasts, people saw me. You know, and they saw me with the walker because, I didn't take no pictures, but that didn't stop people from seeing me. Yeah, because everywhere I went, I had that. And a lot of people knew me. So it's going to be some people that don't believe. But the person that needs to hear this is here. Because God is allowing it. You know what I'm saying? And for the people that don't believe, it's okay because it's about my obedience. And I told God I would. And you know, listen, you know, I'm not, even though I've done the news and your thing. You know, this is not my thing. It always take a psyching up and a pushing forward and like, listen, this is not.
I couldn't send her the flyer. You guys saw the flyer on yesterday. I said, nope, I'm not going to send it to her because I don't want to work her nerves up. Some people you can send it over for approval. I just said, send me the photo. She did. She didn't ask questions or anything. She didn't know what was happening. So, Christina, I appreciate you for getting it out there, for sharing. We put it on Facebook and we shared because we got excited over the phone just talking about what God has done. I said, listen, we're going to have to wait and we're going to have to get this scheduled and we're going to have to get you in here. But I couldn't even send her the flyer because I didn't want to, you know, psych you out or get your anxiety going. But I just thank God for this. I really do. You don't know how much. I don't know if she hoped y'all, but she hoped me today. You know, that like she was saying, that hope deferred, it can make your heart weary. It can make your mind wander. It can make you worry. But when we worry, we're wasting time that we could be worshiping. I have heard so much on today here at Eve Speaks. We're all about encouraging, empowering, and evolving with our listeners. Yesterday, I was sharing with her, yesterday made our 4th year anniversary. And what way to come back on the scene today other than Thankful Thursday with a testimony wrapped involved in it. And it's not just anything, you know, waking up is a testimony. This is multifaceted testimony, a conglomerate. He's put it all together for us. We see all the pieces. So when you see Miss Tanya walking, when you see her out and about, know that you're looking at a miracle. Some of you out there today are a living miracle. And if you just stop, like she said, and be obedient and speak on it, give God the credit that he deserves, acknowledge it, and tell your testimony, somebody else is going to be delivered. Somebody else is going to be excited to believe. She got into that church service in Monroe. She started hearing about cancer disappearing and all of these things. She was refueled in her faith to believe God can do it for me. And that's why I titled this Fearless Faith, Determined to Walk Again, because she had a determination that God would do it for her. And she may not have known on this side or the next, but she continued to believe. You pressed on in your belief anyway, and I'm sure this has confirmed your faith on so many levels.
Oh, girl, listen, let me tell you what my big thing was.
Come on.
I always wanted to dance.
Ooh, talking my talk in right church, there.
When they would praise,
yes, give him your praise. You know, they
and I used to be down there with my feet, dancing with my feet. Mm-hmm. And one time I did get up and I tried it. I ended up hitting the floor, but God kept me safe. But this time, I was it, baby. They played Lion of Judah.
Come on.
And I was getting able to get up and I danced on my own. Didn't have to hold on to nobody else. I wasn't able to dance the whole song. But baby, I remember a time I couldn't
do it at all.
And just to be able to dance and praise God, like.
That's one thing I get excited about in church. You don't know what anybody's going through. Mm-hmm. And when you see somebody shout, you can't judge them by their shout. You can't judge them, by their praise or what, because you don't know what it took. You don't know the cancer. You don't know the throat closing. You don't know the pain. You don't know being on the walker. You don't know the depression. You don't know what somebody's going through. I say when you see them shout them, just join them. Just join into it and get to shouting with them, because you don't know what God has brought them through.
You don't. I remember hearing this other lady that was there that testified that she had been on oxygen. Baby, when she was there praising God, no oxygen, and
come on.
I'm like, God, you did that. Yeah. And I knew somebody else that was there that God had testified that God had healed them. So I knew, that God was a healer. I had no doubt that he was a healer. Mm-hmm. And I need other people to know I have a sister in Christ that is going through the same thing that I was. Mm-hmm. And I was about to have that pain implant, because I've been under pain management for 5 years. Mm-hmm. And so I did the psychological test, because you got to have a psych test in order to get an implant. But I was about to get it in August. Mm-hmm. And this month. And this happened July the 18th. So I haven't been to pain management since. I haven't had to take any of the pain medication. I haven't had to.
You were going for a pain implant, but you received an impartation. A healing impartation from God himself. That's better than any pain management when you give yourself over to him. That's better than any doctor. That's better than any solution or any medication that they can give you. He said, listen, I'll give you this for the trouble. Pain relief. Not pain management. I'm going to give you pain relief.
So I still have work to do.
Yeah.
I'm still learning to walk. Because I walk on a walker for that little time, you walk bent over, so learning how to stand back up. And the struggle real, y'all. The struggle real, but I'm thankful.
Yeah.
We even got a treadmill set up so I can walk. I told my daughter, I said, I got on the treadmill. I said, I walk 53 seconds.
That's all right. That's all right.
We praise God for that 53 seconds, because people don't realize when you hadn't done that on your own, that's a lot. Now I'm up to 2 minutes.
Come on.
In some seconds. So it's one day at a time.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to encourage somebody else not to give up.
Don't give
you
up.
know, not to lose hope. You know, don't feel like we have so many people that don't speak. You know, and I'm one that a lot of times won't tell people when I'm going through because everybody has their own
problems. Yeah,
you know, and that's one of my things. And I had to tell my daughter, we had to talk today because I was going through, but I didn't tell her because I know she struggles on her own. You know, but when you're going through, that's when you see people that will try to commit suicide. I'm not saying I'm suicidal, I would, but now I have had them days when I said, God, look, if you take me home, I ain't gonna be mad, but I ain't trying to leave here like, you know, take me home. But if you take me, you know, I'm gonna be okay. You know, because it does get hard. You know, it does.
The load gets heavy sometimes to bear.
It does. And a lot of times people don't understand when you don't speak. So one of the other things that I wanted to say is you're not alone. You know, and we try to tell somebody because when you don't, then the enemy uses that against you. He plays in your mind. He tells you, you know, that you're a bother to somebody else. He tells you that you're a burden. He tells you, you know, he tells you all this negative stuff. Yeah. But when you tell somebody else, when you're vulnerable and speak it out, he can't use that against you anymore. You know, and then you get your help from the people that do care. Yes. And you realize that, you know? Yes. So I'm asking people not to hold it in.
Don't hold it in.
You know, share whatever you're going through with somebody. Yes. You know, whether it's a church person, whether it's people out here that care. I care. Hey, you can always find me on Beulah Safe Haven. On Beulah Safe Haven, look. Go to their website, you know, TikTok, find me.
Find you.
Yeah, because I always got a listening ear. And the thing is, we have to love each other, you know? Love each other through the pain. Love each other through all the different things that we'll go through. The enemies, the busy. Yeah. And we have to know that it is an enemy. That doesn't stop you from feeling the feelings that you feel. Right. Even when you know it's the enemy. Yeah. You know? But the thing is to know that when God says he won't leave you or he won't forsake you, he won't.
He means it.
He won't. When he say trust in him, and that's my big thing that I'm working on now, is just trusting God in everything. Saying, hey God, this your bill.
Wait a minute, God, these are your bills. I'm with you on that. What they say, I'm with you when you're right. I'm with you on that. These your bills. Yeah. This is your life. These are your kids. Yeah. I know you had to turn. You said get them. Yeah. You had to turn some things over to God. You have really helped us today, and I thank you for being vulnerable. I thank you for being transparent and keeping it real, letting us know that the pain was real, that the struggle was real. However, you also shared with us that God is still God. Yes. You put a but God behind those sentences where you said how you endured the pain, where you said there were times when I got like this, but God. And that, but God lets us know we can go a little bit longer. We can go a little bit further. So somebody today, you may be challenged, or you may have something that you're dealing with. Like she said, reach out to somebody, talk to somebody, be vulnerable. Yes, we're all going through stuff. So why must you go through it alone? If you're watching this today and you're thankful for something on today, leave your comments so Miss Tanya Barnes can see how her opening up today with us shared with others, that they can share their Thanksgiving. They can tell their testimony. Be obedient. You know what God has brought you through. You know where he's brought you from. I love how when you were at church, you walked, you took a step and another step, and you continued to walk. And then they made you turn around and look where you had walked from, where you started from. Somebody needs to take a look down memory lane on today and look where God has brought you from. When you think about it, begin to thank him on today. And as you begin to thank him, share with us here at Eve Speaks Podcast on you can share under this live video when you go back and look at it again and say, she said what? God did what? Yes, he did all of those things from 2018 to July 18th, 2025. And if he did it in Miss Tanya's life and sent her here as an obedient servant to tell you about it, guess what he's telling you? He can bring you through. He'll pull you out. He has deliverance for you. He has healing for you. I'm encouraged today that no matter what comes, no matter what is, God can do it.
And it's going to.
And it's going to do it. Listen, God will work it. He will work it out if we work our faith as you did. If we believe as you did. If we stand as you did. In this, the Bible tells us that we are delivered by the words of their testimonies. In this, you were pursuing God. He says, if you seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, all things will be added unto you. She was in pursuit of God. She said she went to Monroe. Listen, the pain had not subsided yet. It had not ended yet. They were looking for the oil and that gave her some relief, but could not find it. Yet she was still in that car on the way to Monroe, made it to Monroe, in the church, in pain, standing up, 1 for the Father, standing up, 2 for the Son, standing up, 3 for the Holy Spirit, in pain. And I just believe that God looked upon you just as Jesus looked upon the woman with the issue of blood and said, according to your faith, be made whole. What you said, he don't do it halfway.
He don't. And it was a minute when I first started, like I had to, okay, God, am I really here? Like, step.
You were second guessing and you were making sure.
God, you healed me. Like, you healed me. And that walker that I walked in there on, they have it hanging on the wall.
My God.
Because I left it there.
They kept it.
It's not mine.
And she left the walker in Monroe.
It's hanging on the wall at the ribbon hood.
My God.
And look, and when we made it home, I had like three more and a couple of cans. And my daughter walked in the house and moved all of that. Like,
come on, clean it out. We don't need this one. We don't need this.
She cleaned them out.
I know that's right.
And I've been, like I say, my thing is, this is not for me. You know?
Right.
This is for whoever this is meant to help. Me being obedient. And like a lady told me yesterday, you know, God still has work for you to do.
Right.
So I know with this healing, it's because he still got some more work for me.
And this is a part of their work. Being here on today, sharing with us on today, this is a part of their work. You keep stepping in faith. You keep stepping forward. And let God continue to free you in your mind, your body, and your spirit as you tell others about his greatness.
And for every child that come through Beulah Safe Haven, I'm able to tell them.
Yeah.
You know, because they're going through trauma. You know, anytime that you're in foster care or have been, there's trauma. If it's nothing more than post-traumatic stress, it's trauma.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So to be able to tell them what I've gone through, you know, and share with them the God that I serve.
Come on.
You know, because God say, when my day comes, and God say, who did you bring with me? I want to have some people back here. Look, like look, God, I told them about you and them about you and them about you. I don't want to be there standing by myself and I ain't told nobody.
Yeah.
That's at the end of the day, I want God to say a job well done. I want to be done did. The majority, I'm sure I done slipped on a few things.
That's okay. We all fall short, but his grace is sufficient. He knows those areas where we feel like we're not capable or we feel like we don't have the capacity, so we shrink back or don't speak up. He knows those areas, and so he said, okay, she thought she wasn't going to say nothing about this, but I'm going to allow this to happen. And so you see how she took us back to 2018. She might not have did a podcast on being healthy from cancer, but listen, here she is today in 2025, and God said, okay, take them back. Now bring them forward. I'm not new to this with you. I've been doing this with you. I've been healing you. I've been delivering you and making a way when the doctors didn't understand how. Because I'm pretty sure you were in ICU and they were looking at you like, wait a minute, what?
I was in there talking about Beulah Safe Haven. Look, I just opened up a girls' home because we opened up in 2019. I'm in there showing them the video and stuff. We had just done a video and everything through the news, showing it like.
Yeah, ministry still. It doesn't stop when it's, my son made the comment, Jaden says, it's not what's on you, it's what's in you. And we were talking about this as he was preparing to go back to school or whatever, and he had gotten his school clothes, and I said, well, let me see what you're wearing the first day of school. He came out of that room and he was like, it's just a little something, mama, because it's not what's on you, it's what's in you. And so what's in you comes out even when you feel like you want to be in the background. I see you showing them about the ministry God is birthing.
Because I needed my children to be at home. Okay. Yeah. You know, I had foster children that were at home and other children that were crying and they were upset and they needed to know I was okay.
Because they couldn't be there because it was during COVID and all of that.
So I had to be okay. Yeah. You know, I had to laugh through it and joke through it. And even though, hey, I was nervous. Like, you know, I was still, because the fear is real. Like, but I trusted God. And my last thing that I have to do is I have to do YouTube. I don't know nothing about doing all this, I promise you.
Come on, youngest daughter, with your technology savvy.
Don't know nothing about doing the YouTube, but the YouTube is not for me. It's for other people to give their testimony of how God has healed them, so that it can be encouragement for other people, because I'm not the only person that God has healed. It's just that they're not telling enough, and people need to know.
That's right.
People need to know that God is healing.
Yes, ma'am.
So to do a YouTube where people can post their stories. That's my beautiful. Final part of the obedience. I gotta work on that.
All right. But I know it's all going to come together just as today did. We were delayed, but God didn't deny us the opportunity, the privilege to sit here with you and get your testimony out. I pray that this continues to reach those around the world that needs to know God is still healing. Somebody may be in the hospital on today. Somebody may be at home or in a rehab or in inpatient or in a SNF on today. Wherever you may be, God still heals. His blood still works. Yes, the blood that was shed on Calvary, the stripes that healed us all, it's still working. It's still available for us today, and it's evidence. And we're so thankful for Miss Tanya Barnes of Beulah Safe Haven coming sharing her testimony this Thursday. I know she's not the only one with a testimony. So you just type in the comments, me too, I have a testimony, because we want to know who you are, so that when she gets this platform up and going, we can connect you guys and get you on YouTube so you can share how God healed you, whether it's physical illness, mental illness, whatever it may be. He may have just brought you into the forefront because you had social anxiety. That's healing. She's sitting here today.
Right. With prayer.
With prayer. She's sitting here today.
And lack of sleep.
With prayer, lack of sleep, but most importantly, with obedience. Because if God has, as Jaden says, placed it in you, then it's not just for you. You've said that several times today. I know it's not just for me. It's for somebody else, and somebody needs to hear that God did it for you. Just like we just heard, God did it for our sister, our mother, our friend, all of the above. Miss Tanya Barnes, I thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
This really was more than I could have asked for. She only gave me a snippet on the phone, and I thank God that she did, so I didn't get all anxious and she only gave me a snippet on the phone, but even just that got me excited in my spirit, and I knew it was a lot to get us arranged and get us here today, but I'm thankful to God that we did it.
Yeah, because you know, out of all the places, you know, I've been on the news and everywhere, you were the one place that came in mind. Look, I tried to do my own TikTok because I was trying to do live. I said, "Look, okay, God, I'm trying to be obedient. I want you to know that I'm trying to be obedient." Like, and so I was sitting there trying to do the TikTok and everything, and sitting the camera. That my daughter said, "Hey, Mama, look, you got that going. The landscape should be portrait, like. But hey, I still,
yeah, she was putting the effort in. Come on.
But you were the one person that I wanted to get here to share. Because you saw me walking like so many other people. You know how I came in, and just the love of God that you have, So yeah,
we not gonna do that again. You already had waterworks coming out on this side over here. I love you too, and I appreciate you. Thank you for thinking of me. You don't know how much that means, and like you said earlier, you don't know where a person is. So the phone calls, the text messages, all of that. Listen, this is not just for today. This is something that she does on a regular. She checks in. She checks on not only me, but my family. When she says she has that listening ear, truly she does. She does have that listening ear, and she has a heart for people. When God places the gift of nursing upon us, it's a nurturing spirit that he has put within us. And although many of us work at the bedside and in hospitals, we can nurse in different ways. This today is nursing. You're healing somebody. You're helping somebody. You're giving them a full assessment of what you've been through. And through that assessment, just like I have sitting here on today, I'm pretty sure they can see themselves in your full assessment. And by that, the care plan was to trust God.
And give God all the glory.
You see what I'm saying?
God, all the glory.
That is her nursing intervention today. Give God all the glory. And the outcome is going to be healed. The outcome is going to be delivered. The outcome, come on, the outcome. God is still nursing through you, and I need you to know it hasn't went anywhere. No cancer can stop it. No stroke can stop it. No pain can stop it. No walker could hold it. Come on.
I have a watchman, which is it's hard to keep. If you're having another stroke, any clots from going there, so I have a placement in there. And listen, what black person? And I'm embarrassed. Adrenal gland removed. Who has an adrenal? I'm like, God, like really? I had my adrenal gland, had to have it removed. I'm like, God, like, okay, like.
She says, no matter how rare it is, she said, what black person? No matter how rare it is, if it has to happen, God's going to be there with you through it. And he's going to bring you out on the other side.
And heals it every time, despite what they say about healing of a diabetes.
No matter how say it's going to take longer, how they say it's not going to heal the same. This is proof. Listen, we're living in proof, Pastor Mike. She's proof of what God is going to do in 2025. Listen, I know we're 8 months into the year. We still have time to see the manifestations of God. The prophecy spoken over your life is still coming to pass. What God said he's going to do, he is going to do it.
Trust and believe.
Trust and believe. Pursue him. I know we go after riches, we go after fame, we go after money, we go after accolades and all of that. But what if we take our focus on God? Just as you did. You take your focus and you put it on God. You prayed for others. You centered yourself in him and allowed yourself to be a willing vessel. Yet you are still being obedient and a servant unto him. And this is the evidence of what God will do.
And it's about having a relationship with God.
Come on.
I grew up thinking it was in church. You have to be in church. But I've learned that it's having a relationship with God. Yeah. Like a one-on-one with God. Like understanding that he is who he say he is. I remember when he told me, I am. I'm everything that you need me to be. I am. I had a light bulb moment. Like he gave that to me. And so that's why I am now. I'm still working on my relationship with God, spending time with him, understanding him to the best that I can. And this morning I was like, God, I want your heart. If you have the heart of God, you got love. You got the fruits of the Spirit.
Yes.
If you got the heart of God, that's the key. Because you don't want to hurt what you love.
Come on. You don't want to hurt what you love, having the heart of God. That's it, y'all. I don't have anything else. We're going to end this right here. We're not out of message. We're not even out of time. But I want you guys to be able to take in what we've shared on today, giving thanks to God first and foremost for this opportunity, for 4 years of podcasting, for the opportunity to have Ms. Tanya Barnes return with her powerful testimony. Somebody needs this encouragement. Don't keep it just for yourselves. And don't forget to share your testimony, what you're thankful for. What has God done for you lately? Or what has he done in the past that has kept you here today? Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Ms. Tanya, for being here. I am so elated and I can't wait to see just how far God takes you.
Me too, girl. Me too. I'm waiting.
She said, me too. You guys have a thankful Thursday and share your testimony with somebody. Somebody needs that deliverance.
They do.
All righty, you guys, we are signing out.